Hello, welcome to Weekly Talk featuring
Danny.
and Chris. I'm Chris and she is
Danny.
Oh, that look she just gave me like these motherfuckers know already. All right. Well, we were gonna do that SKRIZZLY Adams thing. I don't know what's going on with that.
Well, we'll find out.
We will find out.
If you don't hear him in this episode, it didn't happen.
Yeah, if you don't hear him, it didn't happen. Spoiler alert, it did happen. So, I don't know. Let's just open with music. I wanna ask you what you think about that new G-Eazy CD.
Well, I mean, only heard a couple songs from it, but the one we listened to last night wasn't bad.
It is currently #1 on the iTunes charts.
Oh, I did not know that.
No, yeah, it's only a mixtape. It's not a CD. But did you read about how him and Halsey have been taking subtle shots at each other?
I didn't know until you brought it to my attention, honestly.
So Halsey's kind of been. She said something about how she sold 15 million copies of a breakup note, which
It's kind of funny.
That's pretty good. But then G-Eazy, man, he wasn't even subtle. He just said, when I said him and I, that shit was a lie, or some shit like that. Her and I, that shit was a lie. Because obviously he's not going to say him, because that'd be not G-Eazy.
Yeah.
So did you hear about this Japanese rapper? Do you know where I'm going with this?
Maybe no.
Maybe no.
I don't
All
think
right.
so.
So, do you know Bone Thugs-n-Harmony?
You know I don't like them.
She
Sorry,
does not.
guys.
She does not like Bone. All right. So there's this Japanese rapper who his favorite musicians were Bone Thugs and Harmony. So he bought a one-way flight. Okay, from the Japanese areas. Japanese areas. Japan, pretty much. I guess that would be it, right?
Yeah, Japan.
Japanese?
No.
All right, so he bought a one-way flight from Japan to Cleveland, Ohio. And I'm not too sure if you're familiar with the area, but he probably stood out. There's a good chance that he did not look like he fit in. This is not New York. You have white and black. That's what you have around here.
I mean, you might have a Chinese person or a
Yeah, all right.
Japanese person.
So, I mean, you got like Chinese markets and shit like that, but let's be real. You got white, you got black. You don't got some Japanese guy looking for Bone Thugs and Harmony. So he's going to look for Bone Thugs and Harmony, and what does he get instead? Robbed. He got robbed.
That's a shocker.
So your boy, I think Crazy Bone, who happens to be he's an MC for Bone Thugs and Harmony. I believe he stepped up and he is going to purchase this man a ticket home. He appreciates that his super fandom brought him here, but he probably should not have been coming here. So that's what I got for that little segment. You want to add anything to it?
To the Japanese guy?
Yeah.
I mean, did he sound good? Did you even listen to his music?
No, I read. All right, so I'm not trying to be a dick, but I read Japanese man flies to Cleveland in hopes of seeing Bone Thugs and Harmony get smugged. I was like, oh my god, that's funny.
That's not funny.
I mean, it's not funny. It sucks, but you know where you're going. You know who you're trying to go see. Both of those things encourage violence. Let's talk about this movie that we watched last night.
First impressions, Chris.
Well, we're going to say what movie we watched or what?
Well,
let's go with first impressions, and then let's just give our whole review. All right, first impressions.
The opening was good.
The opening was good. All right, yeah, the opening was good. This is a very much anticipated movie if you're a fan of the genre. The opening was good, and that was it.
Yeah, I was like waiting for something to happen, like...
It was a movie that consisted more of flashbacks than anything.
Yeah.
And they all sucked.
Yeah, pretty much.
2 hours of a waste of time.
Yeah. 2 hours and 2 minutes.
2 hours and 2 minutes of wasted time. And that can be found in yours truly, El Camino, a Breaking Bad movie.
You can watch on Netflix.
You can watch it on Netflix. I suggest you don't. I mean, you might get something out of it you like. I did not.
I don't know. We were just very disappointed because we, loved the Breaking Bad series. And then Better Call Saul came on. And
which is all right.
Yeah, the episodes weren't bad. So we thought, oh, this is going to be a pretty cool movie.
No.
And we were waiting. I seriously thought something was going to happen. Maybe I gave it like an hour in. I'm like, what the fuck, dude? Like,
All right, so I'm gonna tell you what happened. All right, so it goes. You got Jesse's escape. All right.
at the very end of the series of Breaking Bad. So that's where it starts off.
That's about 2 minutes of Jesse's escape, and you got 2 hours of getting to Alaska.
Pretty much.
That's what you got. It was pretty pathetic. I really wish I didn't watch it because I wouldn't have hated it if I didn't. No, it's upsetting.
It is upsetting.
You follow this. I mean, I was a big Breaking Bad fan. I was a big Jesse Pinkman fan.
And it was funny because Breaking Bad and Walking Dead were on at the same time when it was still playing, like running.
Mm-hmm.
And we refused to watch The Walking Dead so we can watch Breaking Bad.
Well, I mean, I think there was a trend that if you hated Breaking Bad, you loved Walking Dead, and if you loved Walking Dead, you hated Breaking Bad.
I don't know, because I kind of liked Walking Dead, but
well, nobody, all right, everybody we talked to, nah, fuck that. Breaking Bad's not that great, except it's breaking every record you can break for TV. But they would even argue then it's not that great. Walking Dead's better.
Well, hey, don't piss off our followers because I think some of them do like Walking Dead.
Well, I mean, I'm not opposed to Walking Dead. If anything, it did give us Shane, who happens to be the guy that plays as the Punisher, and he's the best one to ever do it. So there's that. I don't think that Walking Dead gave us that guy, John Barenthal.
I know who John Barenthal is. You just could have just said Sean. Wow.
What's his name?
John Barenthal.
What's his name on the show? Shane?
Shane.
It's a Shane.
Shane.
No, all right.
Oh,
shit, man. Looking at that clock, we got a lot of time to fill. What? No, I'm just fucking with you. So, Pete Davidson, he breaks up with yet another girl. He just can't find his Ariana, man. I don't think he's looking for an Ariana Grande, and he's finding Lindsay Lohan.
Stop.
I don't know.
Are they breaking up with him, or is he breaking up with them?
I'd have to say that older lady probably broke up with him.
Yeah.
She was way more successful. She was way more...
I don't even know what she was doing with him.
Yeah, honestly, I think he was like a boy toy.
Yeah.
I don't believe he was a relationship. I think she wanted to check out and see if the BDE was real. Look, man, he probably has it. He's got swag. I'll give him that. I really want to see Pete Davidson.
I thought you were going to say you want to see it too. I'm like, wait a second.
No, BDE.
Well, I thought you were going.
It's not about a big dick, first of all. It's
I
about
thought...
having the swag of a man who has big dick.
Well, then you were just talking. She wanted to check it out. Delete it.
You want me to delete that?
Well, I don't care.
All right, we're not deleting it.
I just am telling you, Catherine and her little 3-year-old is probably listening. I don't want the 3-year-old to hear that.
All right. Well, you guys heard the rock came down.
Mm-hmm.
I smelled what the rock is cooking.
I mean, you could say a bad word, but...
It was at that very moment that I knew I had to delete what I had said.
Don't be talking about
Don't be an asshole, Danny. Why you gotta dog me?
I'm not dogging
in front of the masses. All 4 people listening.
All 4 people listening.
All right, let's drive on. G-Eazy details how Kid Cudi helped squash the Machine Gun Kelly beef. Did you read about that?
No. I haven't been following anything
all right,
this
so
week.
Everybody seems to think that G-Eazy sucks. Like, all these MGK fans, and look, I'm not on either side, but they want to pretend, oh, what beef? Dude, G's, I get it. MGK could probably murder G-Eazy lyrically.
Yeah.
But if it comes to putting out a big song that the whole world's gonna hear, and he wants to say something bad about MGK, it's probably gonna be G-Eazy.
Yeah, the thing is, there's 2 differences. MGK kind of doesn't give 2 shits, like, about what he wants to talk about. Like, his raps are about his life. I mean, that's where I see it. And,
I get it.
G-Eazy
it's
has
not a lot of
radio
those.
Appropriate at sometimes.
G-Eazy has a lot about...
I mean, I don't know, Chris. Every time I argue with you over this, it's the same shit.
What do you think?
I like them both. I'm not going to argue with him because he's just going to freaking talk shit about both of them until it's on his agenda. So
G-Eazy would fucking kill MGK and putting out a club hit.
Until I say, you know what, MGK sucks. And then he's like, wait a minute.
No. I'm not saying MGK sucks. What I'm saying is MGK hasn't made a song that's nearly as big as one of G-Eazy's biggest flops.
And that's fine. But why do you got to pit them against each other?
Because everybody in the country's pitting them against each other.
Maybe we don't have to.
All the MGK loyalists swear up and down that G-Eazy sucks with those 32 platinum plaques.
We like you, Shelly.
It's not. No. Shelly's cool. Shelly agrees that
I know.
G-Eazy might be able to do something. Somebody who follows Shelly was trying to tell me, oh, plaques don't mean nothing. Well, when you're talking about in the industry...
Chris, when you're a diehard, you're a diehard. It doesn't matter.
So facts don't mean anything to a diehard.
That's
okay.
True.
Well...
How do you think Hitler got all those people?
No. I've actually spoken with people from Germany, and Hitler had a very good agenda. Hitler...
Oh, my God.
No.
No.
He turned bad. Hitler turned bad. It wasn't that he was bad in the get-go. Hitler had good plans, and then he turned bad, from what everybody that I've talked to says. It's easy to follow somebody who you can relate with. You think they followed somebody because that he wanted to kill people?
No.
No. So at one point in time, he was probably relatable. I know, I can't hear you there.
Sure.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with... You hear that?
Yeah. I hope they hear us.
What about now?
No.
Do you guys hear us? Let me know. We're having issues on our end. I think it has some... Yeah, you can hear that now. Can't you?
No. Maybe we're just not used to... Because we've been changing things around in our
we
setup.
like to keep it quiet.
So we're... Chris, stop fucking with that.
Do you hear it?
Yeah, I hear myself way high.
Yeah, we're not supposed to hear ourselves super high. But we should probably hear ourselves a little bit.
I hear you. Like, if you guys know what we're talking about, we have, like, headphones on. It's not like I can't hear myself talk.
No, yeah. So, off of the G-Eazy thing, because I know I'm going to piss some people off.
You're pissing me off.
G-Eazy's a big artist. He really is. If at any point he wanted to subliminally diss MGK in one of those songs, there's a good chance that song got on the radio. You know what I mean?
Chris, I'm not denying anything or agreeing with anything.
The Google Pixel 4 will be $800.
Which is crazy because we had Google Pixel 2 XL.
Yeah.
And they were like $1,000
yeah.
a piece. So why the hell are they $200 less than...
Well, I think Google's having a hard time keeping
selling them
up.
at $1,000 because
keeping
they're
up with
not
like
a Samsung,
Samsung, keeping up with like Apple. They are better phones. Let's face it.
I mean, I love my Pixel, but damn, dude, you're $1,000. You're like competing with like iPhones. But, you're not as popular as the iPhone. So you shouldn't be starting yourself off at $1,000 because you have Google on your name. Doesn't matter. People are still going to get the most popular phone, which, I'm sorry, is not our phones, but they are pretty bomb. So we might get the Pixel 4.
So I'm reading something. It's called Energizer Funko Pop Hunting, okay?
Okay.
I might have bought a good Funko Pop. I bought the Energizer Bunny.
Yeah, you did.
It's on its way.
I know.
So
I was going to say, you bought that a long
there's
time
a video
ago.
that's got like 1 million views about trying to find this Energizer Bunny Funko Pop. So good on me.
Good on you.
Good on me.
Good on you spending our money.
Southington community celebrates new public water service. Who? Who, you ask? Southington, Ohio. Now, we are part of Southington, Ohio, but we don't get to celebrate that because they didn't bring it to my fucking house. Are you kidding me? Did you see where they turned down?
No.
They turned down like 100 yards before our house. Not that this is pertinent to any of you guys, but
it's pertinent to us because you know what? We have some shitty well water.
This shit is doo-doo.
And
we got to put like probably $1 billion into that fucking sump pump that septic tank every year.
Well, the septic wouldn't matter.
Oh,
we still,
whatever.
But we still hate that septic tank. We'll just throw it.
I hate everything about living in the country except for having a house and a yard.
Yeah.
Other than that, man, I could do without. I fucking hate it. It's fucking doo-doo.
Did you see Farmington is getting water too?
All right, guys, we're gonna stop talking about areas close to us. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Fuck farm. Well, I think that's why they did Southington. To be honest with you, I think they had to do Southington so that they could do Farmington.
I don't know.
Because
but they could have done us.
It's all coming from Newton Falls. Now, if anybody here has a 330 area code, you might know what the fuck we're talking about.
Yeah, but most of our followers.
No, we don't have any support from local people. Because hometown support is apparently not the strongest. I've always been told hometown support will get you anywhere. Well, they're not supporting us, so fuck them.
Hey, we have some local support.
Hey, thank you, Chris and Danny, for supporting Chris and Danny.
And my mom.
Yeah. No doubt. We do. I guess, all right, you're right. We probably got like 5.
Because my mom be...
Well, all right. No, we're
critiquing
probably
everyone.
doing pretty good. We just hit 445 subscribers, that's pretty cool. There was a
Yeah.
time that we couldn't get 130.
Yeah,
So
we were all happy.
I mean, it was hovering. Like it would be at like 129. It'd go up to like 132, back down to like 125. Like, man, what the fuck are we doing? So
Obviously, someone hates listening to us talk.
now we're at 425 or 445, guys, and that's great. So really, you guys are getting an episode of like nothing.
Oh,
All right.
it's not really nothing.
Well, what do you got, Danny? Have you read anything that might be worthy of sharing? I did talk to Charlie. They're not done with the strike, okay?
Yeah.
They are now. They have to vote on the agreement before they go back.
Yeah, I think that was like the 25th. They said they can't go back until I think
So-
they're still doing all the.
I don't. I really want somebody to correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like they caved.
I feel like it too.
I feel like, and I don't blame them, dude. A month without a paycheck is a long fucking time.
Yeah.
I get it, but from what I'm reading, this could have been done without a fight at all. Because you pretty much, what I'm reading, now correct me if I'm wrong, is that you didn't get anything. You didn't gain.
Pretty
What if-
much.
I mean, what have you
that's,
read?
No, that's pretty much the same thing. I was trying to keep up with it. I did read a few articles, but pretty much they didn't get anywhere. You know, Lordstown plant is going to be sold to a different company, and
What, for the energy car, right?
so yeah,
Like
or
an energy truck, I think it is.
Was it a truck? I don't know. It's electric. It's an electric either
Yeah,
battery
some
or
electric company.
truck.
Who cares? But it's not going to be a GM company.
No, so and they're not going to be like paying the same pay that.
And if you think
GM
about,
is
like,
paying.
all right, so you guys get a sign-on bonus when you ratify, but you would have probably gotten a bonus anyway, so that bonus is probably going to make up for what you didn't get
Lost,
paid for over the
yeah.
last month. So that's...
It sucks. I don't
Yeah,
know.
you're in a pretty shitty predicament here.
I mean, I'm part of a union. Chris is part of a union.
No, yeah. No, I'm definitely... And I will stand beside my people if we
Yeah.
go on strike, but we better fucking get something if we do. You know what I mean? I'm not putting up a losing fight. All right, well, we'll drive this on. I don't feel like you lost. You guys all have your job. That's great. I just hope that I'm wrong and that somebody can correct me, because the news only puts out what the news wants to put out.
Yeah.
So hopefully, Charlie, hit me up, tell me that, hey, motherfucker, this wasn't a losing fight, you little bitch. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? No.
Well, he don't sound like that. Everyone knows.
Oh, no, yeah, you got everybody's... Look, dude, I'm not good at voices. I just...
He always makes them like big and
Hey, you like a
burly,
chocolate like this?
Or that. Stop.
I don't know, man. Where we at? We're at 19 minutes. You guys want a short episode?
No.
All right. Well, let's move on to Today I Learned.
Christopher.
I'm joking. We did not have an email. I don't think we did. Do we have any emails that we needed to discuss?
No, but you ran into someone at my job talking about shoes.
Huh?
Remember you ran into someone at my job talking about shoes?
I didn't run into them. It was on Facebook. About the dance
Ah.
goes?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you ran into them.
No, there was somebody
Oh, well,
who...
I swear to God you said that. Whatever. I'm just gonna recommend Dance Goes. Those are
Yeah.
my go-to shoes.
No, I didn't run into anybody.
I thought maybe I was so annoyed.
I said on Facebook...
Oh, you did say Facebook.
There was this girl that
Well, you
I
ran into
knew
them on
from the... Yeah, I ran
Facebook.
into them on Facebook, and I knew them from the past. And she is a nurse, just like my wife, but she wanted to know what kind of shoes to wear. And I told her... What did I tell her, Danny?
I hope you said Dance Goes. Because
I certainly did. I said, my wife swears by dance codes. And she's on her feet 12 hours a day, so...
if you like clogs. Some of the nurses don't like clogs, and that's fine. But if you
That's
want
not a requirement?
clog, no.
What?
Ours is more, I don't know. Some of the nurses wear certain things that I don't agree with, but I'll say if you want to protect your feet and be kind of comfortable, I like the clogs because you slide into them. I don't like to wear my shoes like in the car after work, so I can easily slide them off and put them in my like a shoebox in my car and slide on my other shoes. They're just comfortable. I don't have any pain in my feet for 12 hours, so Dansko clogs are my go-to.
All right, guys, we're going to hop off here for a quick minute. We're going to set some shit up. I got the okay. All right, we are now doing that interview with SKRIZZLY Adams.
Hello?
Hey, can you hear me?
Hey, you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you pretty good. We live in an area where we have very limited service, so we have Wi-Fi
Okay,
calling.
sure.
So there might be a bit of a lag.
All good. I'll take it slow.
Okay.
Uh, First off, are you back from London?
I got back from London last night, and I am home in New Jersey now.
What was that like?
It was good. I was there for a brief amount of time. I think it was only 48 hours total. So there was a bit of a jet lag, and I was sleeping a lot. I didn't get to explore London very much. The show was in an area called Kilburn. The people were very friendly. People traveled from all over for the show. It was a small show, very intimate, but everyone knew every word to every song, and it was very loud. And it was my first experience with Europe, and I definitely experienced a lot of excitement and passion towards the music over there. So I hope to build more in the future in 2020.
What is your biggest song over there?
It's a good question. It's hard to really tell if it was any different than different areas of the U.S., but say a few songs went over really, really well. Dance with Darkness went over really, really well. Take a Sip went over really, really well. Drive Away went really, really well. And Redemption went really, really well, in the sense that like they were singing so loud, I didn't have to do much singing. So yeah, those four really hit well.
All right, so I first caught you on a Chris Webby tour. It was actually Webby's Lab 2. How do you link up with the hip hop side of music?
Sure. Great question. So me and Webby go way back. I'm 28 right now. I've been working with Webby since I was 19.
Oh.
I was 19. And I've always, just loved making music for the sake of making music. I never really was culturally attached to anything. I don't do music for cultural purposes or cool purposes. I just love making music. And I don't really know what it was. I think I just started making beats. I just started making beats. I made 3 beats over the course of a couple months. And a friend of mine knew someone locally who knew Chris, and Chris was kind of a local artist at the time. I'm from New Jersey, he's from Connecticut, and he was making a lot of noise. And I had 3 beats at the time, and I had choruses on all of them that I sang. And they were just, placeholder choruses. I was expecting someone else to sing them. And I sent them over to this mutual friend of ours. His name's Pat. He's still a good friend of ours. And he wrote back like a couple days later saying, Chris loves 2 of them. We'll take 2 of them. So Chris just took 2 of them, which was great. We were 2 out of 3. I didn't think he was going to take any of them. It was more just like me introducing myself. But no, these are great. I'll take some of them. And we just clicked. And then, I started working with him in the studio, just behind the scenes a lot. And I've been on and off with him for a while. But in 2016, we reconnected really aggressively. And then in 2017, we started working really hard. And then in 2018, we were just full-time working together on music, all the time. I'm going to his house tomorrow. And just a really great guy.
I'm
great
jealous.
rapper, and we just love making music.
Are you guys working on something tomorrow?
Oh yeah, I work on almost every song. Yeah, I do work on every single song he puts out at this point.
That is awesome.
Yeah. So we're kind of like a brain trust. What he says, if you're a Sopranos fan, he's the boss and I'm the consigliere. But make sure, there's a checks and balances system to make sure the music turns out the way we want it to.
So, where does SKRIZZLY Adams come from? I know I've done some research and I know that your name's Daniel, but where does SKRIZZLY Adams come from?
Sure. Number 1, I think it's a ridiculous funny name, so it gets your attention. And then number 2, my music is like Americana, but it's flipped. That's kind of just the angle with everything. I don't make old music, I make flipped Americana. So very simply, I just flipped classic Americana figure Grizzly Adams with SKRIZZLY. Sharper letters, SKRIZZLY. Also a subtle hint to Leonard Skinner, which I'm a huge fan of. Similar letters. Very simple. Kind of an attention grabber. I'm Skrizz, as people call me.
Okay. Some people have even went as far as to compare you to Bruce Springsteen. Do you get that a lot?
Sure, definitely. Heavily influenced by Bruce. Obviously, a massive fan. We come from the same place, and I think we write from the same context. Just being where we grow up and kind of the world around us. So musically, there's definitely a lot of influence from Bruce Springsteen, and I'm just such a big fan.
How long did you say you've been doing all this since you were 19?
I've been doing music since I was 11 or 12. I've been doing music professionally since I was 19. I released my first SKRIZZLY track in 2014. I kind of started taking things pretty seriously in 17 when I was off my record deal and releasing music consistently.
So that
I
tipping
mean, I've music's
point.
been my life since I was young. What was that?
All right. So tipping point had won you that the international songwriting competition. Prior
Correct.
to that, did you have any doubts?
I'd say, your belief in yourself is like the weather. Some days I think I'm king of the world. Some days I think I suck. I mean,
Oh man,
never really a doubt in the sense that I would stop. You know what I mean? I also do a lot of I'm always just working, and I feel like I'm always just naturally working on music. I don't really work on music to chase a dream. Obviously, I have huge goals, and like I'm very lucky where and recently I've been making a very good living for myself, even as an artist my size. I mean, I hope to be wildly successful, but it's not why I do music. I just do music because I love it, and I can't really stop. So I'm a workaholic in that sense, and sometimes things go really fast, and sometimes things go really slow, and sometimes songs are wildly successful that you didn't expect to be successful, and sometimes songs fall flat on their face where you didn't think they were gonna. I mean, the songwriting thing I think was more of a validator for people around me. I don't think it's even the best song I've ever written. So, I mean, people have opinions, and I'm so honored that I won that competition, and everyone who's won that competition has gone platinum except me. And I'm excited for when I do go platinum.
Oh, you're
But,
going.
Yeah.
yeah, I just like kind of doing my own thing. I don't want to second guess it. And I think my father told me something a while ago. He says you're really only responsible for the effort. You're not responsible for the outcome. And I've been really strategic with my business, whereas like I'm not going to be starving on the street anytime soon. And like I make a very good living for someone my age, so I just try my hardest. And if I'm one of the top 100 artists on earth, that's great. If I'm not, great too, in terms of like sales and streams and everything that I'm attached to, the SKRIZZLY stuff and the Webby stuff, it's all kind of interconnected, and I'm working with other artists, and it's all kind of connected. And I think my sales record's really good, and I'm really proud of where I'm at. My fan base is very, very insular. My community is very insular. I'm sure most people just don't know who I am, but the people that do know who I am know every word to every song. So I feel very lucky in that sense.
I know you're gearing up for a record release. Is there anything you can share on that?
Yeah, so I'm assuming you're talking about the single release coming out next Friday.
Yeah.
Nothing really big. Honestly, I don't like to put all my eggs in one basket. I like to put the music out, let the fans kind of react to it, and if it starts doing well, I'll start doing things for it. But I like to just let the music do the talking. Obviously, I'm going to promote it like crazy amongst my fans. I'll probably do some type of giveaway where I send a bag of jerky or I give a free FaceTime concert or whatever. I'm constantly doing like little contests. But nothing really outside my fan base.
So I know that I've reached out to you to sign a couple of my Webby CDs, and you actually did that like no doubt, like you just came through. Why are you so personable? Like, how is it? Why are you so easygoing with your fans?
Oh, I mean, I'm sure I'm not an easygoing guy. I'm sure a lot of people think I'm weird and annoying. But regarding like connecting with my audience, I don't know. I see no reason not to be. I mean, I think there's like it comes down to like I just do so much behind the scenes, and I guess I'm a control freak. I hate to say it. Just I see so much of the big picture, and I just truly there's just a level of gratitude, I guess. I mean, I think most artists they get with a producer, they make a song, it does very successful, and they don't realize that if there's a million people listening to those songs, there's like a million real people that are somehow emotionally connecting with the song, and they forget that. And when they forget that, they lose touch, and then when that song's over, their career's over. Where it's like with me, it's like I definitely want to hear the story. If Tipping Point had something hit you in the right way during a breakup, and that meant something to you, like, well, that's amazing. I mean, I can't be doing this if you're not having that connection. So number one, like I just don't want to ever take that for granted. So I want to just keep giving as much as possible. And I mean, just giving is a good thing. Who wants to be an asshole? Like no one wants to be an asshole. So if I have the energy and attention and the ability to connect and give back in some capacity, I will.
All right, so I recently met a guy named Elvis Duran. He's real big in New York. And he said that meeting your idols might be like a bad thing because they may be the asshole that you just said nobody wants to be. Have you ran into
Sure.
many assholes in the industry?
Yeah, I mean, most people are assholes. I'm not gonna say any names. I mean, yeah, like
Yeah.
I always say, like all your favorite artists are probably jerks. You know what I mean?
I hear you.
And they're probably not jerks. You know what I mean? I think what it comes down to is like, in order to really not be a jerk when you're dealing, like, this is what I say. I sometimes come home to people I'm close with, and I'm just like, I'm overwhelmed with so much data. I remember I was explaining this to my mom. I was like, and I'm not that big by any means. Like my circle's so insular, and like you're just hit by so much data on a given day, so much. Like it's just nonstop data, and at a certain point, you just get grumpy. You know what I mean? So like, I don't think most artists are like jerks, but like, you know, at a certain point, you just kind of turn it off. Well, then they also like become egomaniacs too. I mean, and then there's also like a battle with that too. It's like you have to, if you want to be a prized fighter, you got to believe in yourself. But then, I mean, my favorite artist is Kanye West, but he's obviously the extreme. He thinks he's Jesus Christ.
Don't mean
I don't recommend anyone walking around talking like that. So, but I think, just going back to, you're a Chris Webby fan. I think I've been friends with Chris for almost a decade now. And I will say, just for the record, he is really the best at, like, just being a good person at all times. You know what I mean? I think me and him have always had that friendship and, like, handled his audience really well, and he's really nice to everybody. And, yeah, I think he's just one of the good guys in music, whereas, I think people get too caught up. Also, like, Chris lives in Connecticut. I live in New Jersey. We have, we have nothing going, like, we have stuff going on, but, like, there's no other musicians here. You know what I mean? There's no industry here.
Well, all right. So I gotta ask about the whole. You were signed at one point in time, and I don't know if Webby ever was. I think he's been independent for a while.
Webby was with E1. He was with E1, an independent label for a bit. He did a one-off album with them. Yeah, it was a good album.
Do you think that these artists who are signed have more of a chance at getting bigger, or do you think the DIY movement will help you? I mean, what do you prefer?
Sure. Yeah, this is an amazing question, and it's a very, very, very relevant question. I'd say, everything changed in 2016, in my opinion, and it's been exponentially changing more. So it's 2019. I'm going to say 2020. I'm going to start talking in 2020 terms. In my humble opinion, there's a few reasons to sign a major label deal. Number one, if you are piss broke and you have no money and you have no means of whether you have to pay your producer or get these mixes right or, whatever it takes to get this music out, you don't have the money, you sign then. But just know, if it's not successful, you're going to hate your label. And then if it is successful, you're going to hate your label. Because they're going to they're going to rape you. They're going to take 85% royalties. You get a 15% royalty on your music. So you do that if you're piss broke and this is your only shot. Number two, if you are crushing it, you know what I mean? Like you're releasing your music independently and you are making $50,000 to $100,000 a month off your royalties, maybe more. Like Russ was. If you don't know the artist Russ in 2016, I mean, he was just killing it independently, and it was a no-brainer that a label could step in and put $500,000, $1 million, $2 million in marketing dollars just to make sure you're just going to be that much more exposed to the masses. So I always say when you're trying to break into the top 500 in the streaming world, top 500, it means 500 artists on Earth, total 500. And then the other time is like if you just see a partner, team member, and like whether it's an A&R or an executive, and you really trust them and they really see the vision and like they can make things happen politically for you and they give you the extra capital, the extra $1 million, extra $500,000, and they're not raping you on the back end where it's like you truly are expanding your team and your money, I like to think, if I have $500,000 right now at my disposal to move really, really, really fast, that would be amazing. At the same time, I wouldn't give up a huge percentage of my company for $500,000. So there's a give and take. You'll find the right deal. But I'd say ideally you're piss broke or you're trying to break into the top 500 because the odds of you finding really that right partner and that right deal are really rare. They have to really believe in your vision. And the truth is the music industry doesn't really want to take chances. They don't want to go against the grain, against the curve, whatever the expression is, and do something different. So even if the A&R really believes in you, I think the odds that the company itself is not. I don't think it's going to happen. So I believe in grinding. I believe in working hard. I believe in building a business. I think my friend Webby's done it really, really well. I work with him on a daily basis. And he's doing awesome stuff, and I'm doing a similar thing. I'm a couple of years behind him, but we're all just building together, and it's a fun time to be independent.
Where does the beef jerky come from?
Beef jerky? I don't know. I think I was making music early on, and a friend of mine was listening to some music, and he was eating beef jerky. I think he was like, "Man, we should make some SKRIZZLY beef jerky." I think that just feels right. It just feels right listening to your music, eating some beef jerky, and I'm like, it's SKRIZZLY's beef jerky. That makes sense to me. So I kind of chased it for 2 years. I don't really know much about making jerky, but I called around and figured some things out, and I did a show in I think it was Madison, Wisconsin. And I said, Wisconsin, do you guys love beef jerky? And they said, yeah, we love beef jerky. I said, well, when I leave the stage, I'm going to go to the merch table over there. I'm going to sell you guys beef jerky. And, let's fucking do this. And it sold like wildfire. And it just sold like crazy. And then as more cities passed, it just kept selling and selling. And I sold a ton of jerky. And some people remember me as a jerky guy. And I mean, I'm just passionate about food. Like, I want to open a restaurant called SKRIZZLY's. Like,
I would go. Yeah.
Yeah, like I just want to do like I mean, I have a weird vision for everything. I'm sure everyone thinks I'm ridiculous, but I'd rather be ridiculous than play it safe. I just have this vision for just like my weird brand of like protein foods, and like that's where SKRIZZLY lives. Like it's this lifestyle of just like I don't know. I got tons of ideas for food, and that's kind of what I want to do. Beyond music, but music's pretty good right now, so I like that.
Man, it is. It's so weird talking to you because like I see your picture. You look like this strong dude, right? And I hear your voice, and I don't hear your voice when I'm just talking to you on the phone. It's kind of a surreal feeling right now.
Really? Okay. Well, I appreciate the honesty. Yes, I think I was telling someone today, I'm a very poor talker, like very bad talker. I have a terrible talking voice, and I have like very poor speech. I'm using every ounce of energy to talk slowly. I talk super fast.
Oh, I can tell. I can tell that you're cutting it back.
That's why I'm not talking.
Yeah, I'm
so
trying
much.
to pull back like crazy. But, I mean, I don't really know. I never was a singer until my, 20s. Chris was actually the first one who got me to sing professionally. I always forget that. Because I always wanted to be a producer, and he just, he just left my vocals on. Like, these are great. We'll just use your voice. And then we just kept kind of working together, having me sing it, and I worked at it, and I got better over time. I think it's an interesting thing where if you were to see me I'm a terrible singer in a lot of ways. I could never sing karaoke in the sense that if you want me to sing a certain artist or the Backstreet Boys or whatever, I couldn't do it. But I have a certain lane and I know how to stick in it. So I'm a producer also, so I've learned how to use my voice as an instrument. This is obviously a big factor in that. And I think it has a really distinct tone, and I'm proud of it. And I'm proud of the way I sing live. I do a lot of shows solo acoustic, and what is it? Like when people come to the show, they're like small shows or like whatever. They come and they know all the records, and the records are super produced. And they come and they think, like, oh shit, this is about to suck. This guy, standing there with an acoustic guitar, just singing, this is about to be terrible. Because most people, they don't sound as good live. They just don't, and I am proud to say I give it my all and hit all the right notes, and miraculously, they always say it sounds just like the record, if not better. So, I guess I got something right.
I'm gonna say if you can go up there with anything but a guitar and yourself, that takes a lot of balls to do because you're either gonna really suck or you're gonna be really good. And I'm gonna tell you, your voice really hits hard. Like, I like your voice.
I appreciate that.
No, yeah, when we saw
Thank
you
I
in
appreciate that a lot.
Cleveland, when you were with Webby in Cleveland, nobody knew who you were when you came on stage.
Yeah.
Was it the Grog Shop?
Shit, where was this?
Where was this? I can't even think.
It might have been the Grog Shop.
It was like a pirate. It was like a pirate ship, right?
Yep.
It was like shaped like a pirate.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. My mom was there. That was so
shit.
funny.
Dude, I mean,
Yeah,
but
we got wasted there.
Yeah. You got.
You had gotten the crowd to stomp their feet with like every, it's just the beat of the song. It was pretty. It was a different feeling.
Did we do the Kanye West Power? Do you remember? I think we had to have done it.
I think you did. I mean, it's been
likely.
a little while.
Yeah, this was like I said, Webby's Lab 2 days. So when was that?
I can't. Maybe
what was that?
2 years ago?
Maybe 2 years ago? Maybe 3 years ago? I don't remember when it was.
You're breaking up.
It was 2016.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was 2016.
But it was.
Yeah, that was really fun.
It was fun.
And that was funny because me and Webby really didn't have many collabs back then. Since then, we've been doing collabs like crazy.
No, I don't even
So I
think
think we should definitely do another show. We had World on Fire.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. Yeah, that was. But nobody. I think that was not really that big of a track. Nobody really knew that.
No one knew that one. I thought that song was really good too, but no one knew that song. Yeah.
Oh, if I had to pick one, it's the Stick Up.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Stick Up's killing it, man. Mm-hmm. Like, we're just so happy because, we never thought that song would be as big as it is. It's gonna be both of our most popular song ever. It already is. It's just crushing it. It crushes it. So I was running some analytics with Chris today on the phone. And I was like, we're about to hit 14 million streams on Spotify alone, and I was like, I go, Chris, how many people do you think have heard the song? Because I have access to that data. And he's like, I have no idea. If you were to guess, if you had 14 million streams, like, I don't know, 14 million people, maybe 10 million people, like whatever. Only 1.6 million people have heard the song.
What?
That means the average person who's heard the song has listened to it 10 times, or a little less than 10. So I was like, Chris, like, we have something on our hands here. Like, let's try to get this in front of more people. We're working on that now. Obviously, the song came out a while ago, but we're just excited that it's doing so well all these years later.
Your recent
But yeah,
track with
very
him,
few people have heard the song.
that
Probably
Flawed.
total across the board only. Yeah, Flawed's killing it too, and I just called him about that. So far as, I mean, I'm a numbers guy, but like, it's doing really well. So I'm just like, let's keep it. If that keeps going, we'll definitely do some more with that.
Will you two ever do a whole album together?
Great question. I definitely won't rule it out. I definitely won't promise it. I think me and Chris have a really good just creative chemistry where we just, with the collabs, we don't really force it. That's the most important thing. Usually, like, usually I just have an idea one day, and I'm like, Chris, I think I got something. What do you think? And he's like, great, let's do it. And I don't, like, think about it. In fact, I've been more nervous recently where we've done 4 really good ones in a row, and I'm like, maybe we're done. Maybe we're not going to do any more. Like, I don't want to mess up our track record. But I think people would like it, and I think it would be fun. So we'll definitely do more collabs. I don't know about an album, but maybe.
So you have a song on, like, what is it, like strip club anthems, I think it is. Take a Sip.
Correct.
Yeah,
Take a Sip. Take a Sip was, I think it peaked at number 16 on the strip club charts, which is called the Panda charts, like professional adult nightclub dance.
How does that feel,
whatever.
knowing what you're up against on that list?
Right.
That's the best point. I'm really honored that you noticed that. Yeah, I think if you go to a strip club, I mean, all you hear is like, Future or Travis Scott or what's her name? Like, it's all Cardi B. It's all Cardi B. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's all bops.
It's just tons of Cardi B. It's just so much Cardi B, and like it doesn't get bigger than Cardi B. And I remember when they posted the list, and I was like, I mean, I knew I was going to do well in the rock department because I didn't think I would. I don't know. I think rock's dead. I'm not really. Don't even want to be a part of rock. Actually, don't quote me on that. But like, I'd rather compete up against Cardi B. And when we saw the list, we're like, holy shit! Like it's like Post Malone, Cardi B. It's just huge artists. And I definitely it wasn't a polished song. I mean, it was really rough. It's like real hard hitting.
It's raw,
like, raw. It's like real raw. I'm just like screaming with distortion, and it did really well. I mean, a lot of strip club owners and DJs I've been able to befriend since then, and they just say it does well. I mean, I can totally see it. Unfortunately, you can't get video footage in strip clubs. That's illegal. But they, from what I've heard and what I have done some visits, I have seen it. It does well. It really makes sense. It has its setting, Well,
lyrically, it fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's like the beat too, and like it has this kind of trashy rock pop crossover thing. It's like tacky in all the right ways, you know what I mean? Because it's like sarcastic. It's like real trashy and real, just whatever. But it's also kind of sarcastic and witted at the same time. It's more from the point of view of like, it's more of like a loser anthem than anything. I like to think of people on the surface. It's like this drinking song, but it's really not. I mean, it's more about just being like a loser kind of thing, and has this like kind of beat that goes to it, and I think my voice kind of fits it right in a certain way. So it all kind of came together, and it's almost my most popular song in America. So someone right, and when I played it in England, people were screaming along, so I was like, okay, definitely something's going right there.
Do you have a song that you would consider your favorite?
Repeat that one more time.
Do you have a song that you would consider to be your favorite?
Yeah, definitely. So this is an interesting thing. I always say this is my favorite, and I hate to say this, but like the song wasn't very successful when I put it out. And since then I feel kind of like I used to introduce it at shows as my favorite song. And like I feel like I love it less because it's done poorly, which is a horrible thing to say. Like if your children does bad on a math test, you love them less. That's like a horrible thing. But like Because It's Wrong was always my favorite, and I had it for so long, and I wrote it so long ago. I mean, I say I'm 22 in the song. I put it out when I was 27, and I just love that song. And it always felt so raw and real to me, and I thought it would do so much better commercially. And it's kind of at the bottom of the barrel of my catalog, and that's always disappointed me. But sometimes you got to put business aside and just be like, I love this song. When I made it, I really connect with it. And when I sing it live, I really connect with it. So I would say Because It's Wrong is my favorite that I've written thus far.
What's your least favorite song?
My least.
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to be on the record saying any of this. I'll say this. I don't want to be on the record saying any of this. But I think some of my, well, first off, songs have their seasons. Songs definitely have their seasons, and like a lot of these songs are really, really old. Like I have a song coming out in like a couple weeks that is like 6 years old, and I'll be on. I get whatever. I'm just so sick of it, you know. But there's some songs that just, you know, keep living on. I will say a lot of my kind of side records that are not going to be on my album and I just put out for fans, like some of those are really my favorite. Like Now That You're Lonely, you know, that one is like, I love that song. I just thought it was so great and I just loved it and I was so proud of it. And I know fans really love it. Fans really do, but it just doesn't sell very well. But whatever, you know. And I will say some of my most popular stuff I don't enjoy. Like I just don't enjoy. It's like nails on chalkboard.
Is it because it's overplayed?
But I don't know. I think there was a certain point where I was at a show in New York. I was kind of on a break, and I was at a show. And I hadn't played with my band in a long time, and we got back and we played this one song. I'm not going to say what it is, okay. And it was unanimously the most popular one live. And I played it during soundcheck, and I was just like, I was with somebody, and she's like, you're really not feeling this. And I'm like, I'm not going to lie, I'm really not feeling this. And the funny thing is I will definitely play that song every day for the rest of my life. But you learn to make nice with it. I don't know, you know?
Right.
This song's ambiguous enough that people are going to connect in a certain way. If it works, it works. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But regardless, it's my job, so I'm going to give it my all no matter what in terms of performing it.
Do you ever play Intervention live?
Yes, that's an awesome question. Yes, and I love playing it. So I haven't played it with a band yet, but I could see that being awesome with like the fuzzy bass. So that song's that's probably my least popular song streaming wise, and
that's my favorite song.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, that's like one of my favorites too. It's like really cool, and yeah, I love playing it on acoustic guitar and like the auto-tune singing part, which is a fun fact. So on the chorus where I go, love somebody, and it goes like, ooh, like the oohing and auto-tune, that's not even me singing. That's like a friend of mine. Like, a lot of people don't know that. There's so many random backup vocals on my songs that aren't me.
I did not know that.
So we have that part, and I do this chant on acoustic guitar that's different. So the acoustic version is really good, and I always thought if I like, you know, built up my fan base and wanted to do like a really good acoustic album, like in a church or something like that, where I hear the crowd really singing along, that one would translate really well.
Right. So are you having any plans of coming to Cleveland at any time soon?
I would love to come to Cleveland. I mean, I'll tell you this, fans reach out all the time. I do a lot DIY, and I keep the rate this is pretty much what fans do. They book me for a private party, and I keep it very, very cheap. And then they just move it to a bar or a local venue, and then we just pack it out, and then I announce it to the public.
I've actually talked to you about this before.
Okay, yeah, I would recommend doing that. Like, the success rate is like 100%. Like, it's never awkward. It's always awesome. And like, if you can do it months in advance, like at a brewery or a bar, we'll do a solo acoustic, and I'll list it on my Spotify, and we'll pack it out, and everyone will be happy. And if you do it right, the venue will pay. You pay me, and the venue will pay you, and it's good to see people. It's like punk rock, you know, just kind of people come together, you know.
Right.
Are you going to be doing a DIY thing forever? Because I feel like you found most success doing it on your own.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. Nothing beats just doing it and connecting with the people, person to person. Like nothing beats that.
You get to keep your what is that, like freedom of choice and however you do shit, right?
For the most part.
Repeat that one more time.
You get to stay free in however you do it, right? Like, you don't have anybody telling you how to do your music.
No. I mean, I value people's opinions, but yeah, I have 100% control over everything. And, you know, I have people I work with, and I definitely value their opinion. But if I want to do something, I just go ahead and do it, you know?
Do you play any video games?
No, I don't. I don't play video games.
Well, I'm just curious about, like, your free time. What is your free time? Does it even exist?
I watch a little bit of TV, not much. I'm really into Sopranos. me and Chris Webby are both appearing at Sopranos Con. Here's my Sopranos Con plug. November 22nd, 23rd, and 24th. We will be there.
Where's that at?
So we're really into that. We're big fans of that. I don't know. I don't do much. I drive a lot, think a lot, I eat a lot. I'm really into eating. I know I go out and get wings. And I'm getting steak with my lawyer, who's a good friend of mine tonight, actually. And yeah, I just like going out to eat. I think that's like probably my favorite thing to do. I work out a lot. I'm into fitness.
Yeah, I am.
That, I guess. I don't know.
What is what kind of
that's pretty
phone
much
do you
it.
use?
What's up?
What kind of phone do you use?
Type of what?
Phone. Is it Apple or Android?
Oh, Apple.
All right, people. People have asked me what you use. I figured I'd get them your answer.
Really? That's
Yeah.
a funny one.
Yeah.
I use an Apple phone. Yeah. I'm not very good at it. I don't really know what I'm doing.
That's all right.
So, over the next, because you said 2020, that's what you're speaking of. How many tracks can we expect, and like, what do you foresee happening in the next year?
I'll repeat that. How many tracks do I see on what?
How many tracks do you see coming out within the next year?
12.
Oh, so like a full album.
Yeah. Yeah. So I have an album coming out next. So the song coming out on Friday. Then I have an album coming out most likely after that. Fingers crossed. And that's only not very much new music. Very little new music. And then immediately after that, hopefully before the year's up, there'll be the first another single, which might go towards album 2. It might not be. And I'm just releasing singles all the time. I'm just constantly creating and releasing music and just trying to work as fast and as good as possible. It's the goal.
Do you plan on having an album release party?
Yes. I actually have a call about that a little later. So if all goes well this week, we'll have one.
All right. Is that going to be in Cleveland?
Stop.
No, it's not going to be in Cleveland. I'm sorry, buddy. So right now the goal is Boston.
Okay.
We can make it to Boston.
We'll
Oh, shut up.
Yeah, it'll be sick if you come. I mean, I'll see you. But yeah, essentially I'll just be transparent. We have one more song left, and it is so close to being done. And I want the album to come out November 15th. That's the perfect day for me, November 15th. The album comes out, and I need to finish it. But if I need to finish the song by Friday next week. And I'm like talking to my mix engineer, and we're just back and forth, and I'm being picky, but I need to get it right. So
Oh, no.
I said we're going to meet up on Wednesday. I'm like, let's just get this done. Whatever it takes, just get it done.
So
I already started filling out paperwork for the album. I was literally on, like, while we were talking on Twitter, I was filling out paperwork. So it's already in the process.
So I do have a question. How long does it usually take you to like create one song, like to get it like from the beginning to the end perfect? Just one song.
Awesome question. I hate to be discouraging towards any artists listening, but it takes a lifetime and going to hell and back. And as the producer Benny Blanco, who's probably one of my favorites, says, you know a song is done when you hate the song, you hate yourself, and you want nothing to do with it ever again. That's truly what it takes. I mean, I think my experience, I'll talk about it on social media. My making the album was the most difficult thing I have ever done. Obviously, I was in a really bad record label situation where I was stuck for 2.5 years. And this album was written then. It's that old, and it's still not out, you know? So it's very difficult. I think a lot of the new stuff I'm working on now is moving a lot faster, like a lot faster. Sometimes songs take, over the course of 6 years, thousands of hours. Dude, I mean, I've had songs I've had hundreds of versions. I think I'm a freak example. Like, me and Chris Webby work on songs, and it doesn't take nearly as long. It's different. Rap's different. Rap's totally
Right.
different. But mine takes too long. They take too long, and I'm looking to change that. But yeah, you definitely. I think the one thing I will say on social media or to my fans is, this was the most difficult thing I've ever done. And if someone were to go back in a time machine and tell you really had to, like, also, like, life was very difficult. Like, my mid-20s was just difficult. I had to deal with a lot of tough shit, and like you had to deal with all of that to make this. And like, if I was, I mean, what is it? The Garth Brooks song, "The Dance." It's like I'm glad I didn't know. Like, or else I would have had to miss the dance as a lyric. I'm glad I didn't know. But even if I had known, I still would have done it again. So yes, it's a lot of hours and really taxing. So for anyone asking, no, it is not 12 hours. No, it is not 40 hours. It's being tied to the whipping post, beaten over and over again.
No, we hear a lot of emotion in every track that you lay down. Obviously, we know what happened with the whole record label.
Sure.
Does that have any play in your future songs?
In my future songs, or the songs that are out?
Your future songs. Like, are you ever going to speak on the pains that you had to go through?
No, definitely not. I think I'm very different from. I make heartland rock music, and I think it's very different from the narrative of a rapper. For example, like Eminem was such an interesting rapper, where like we knew about his mom, we knew about his daughter, we knew everything he was going through. It was like it was an autobiography. It was and that was so amazing. You know what I mean? And I think rappers are great about that. And I think like me being SKRIZZLY Adams is obviously influenced by Bruce Springsteen, but I'm not a traditional heartland rock artist at all. I mean, I make beef jerky. I'm ridiculous. Like it's not like that. But it still goes back to the heartland rock kind of roots, where I'm trying to tell your story, and that's more my goal. My goal is to tell your story as opposed to rapper tells his story. Obviously, I just kind of live my life, and I'm constantly writing down notes, and almost all my songs are based on exact moments. So it's like Tipping Point talks about an exact moment, an exact moment that triggers an exact emotion where you realize, something isn't going to work. It's going to fall apart at this very second. So this is the tipping point. And almost all my songs are discussing an exact emotion that are really whatever, but there's not really many specifics in it. And that's my whole point I'm just trying to tell your story. Obviously, I'm a human being and I live, but I don't think I'm ever going to I would never mention Atlantic Records. I would never mention specific people. I would never do that. But I mean, I would mention being frustrated. I mean, I would mention I'm writing a song right now called 28, and then I think the catch line is like the whole point of being 28 is it's been 10 years since you turned 18. And I think I could definitely, imagine myself at a bar and like thinking about things, including that, and how it's such a complicated feeling. How it's literally been a decade since I turned 18. But it's never going to be about my story. It's always just going to be about the human experience. That makes sense.
Yeah. I hear that a lot. I can kind of intervention seems like it came from another point of view. Just like you said, tipping point.
Yeah, totally. I've heard so many good stories about intervention, and I'm like, God, if that's what it's about for you, it holds just as much weight. So I try to avoid the specifics.
Right.
So, I guess we can close this with, I have one request. Can you ask Chris Webby for you guys?
Stop.
I want you to do a remix to Gold Toilets. I wouldn't mind having you on there.
Stop.
I am singing on it.
Are you really?
Yeah, of course. Me and my ex-wife are both singing on it, yeah. I was recording in my mom's basement.
Oh, no shit. Okay.
We're on the chorus. Yeah, listen back.
That's probably why I like it so much then.
Yeah, I produced that, Yeah, I'm singing on it.
Well, I know you produce a lot. You're pretty big time in the produce world, right?
Yeah, no, I sang on that. I had the melody for the chorus. Chris really collabed pretty hard on that.
I have to listen to that again.
A lot of the choruses are written by me. If you listen to it closely, you'll probably tell.
Well, I feel like an ass.
Stop.
No, I'm sorry, buddy. But that's exactly what I do sing on. But if the song was more successful, I would ask him. I've gotten requests from people to say they want me to do a rap verse. And I'm like, I love that idea.
I want you to do a rap album.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guarantee I think it would probably do better than the music I have now, which is funny if I release a rap album. Maybe I will. That's a crazy idea. It'd be a lot cheaper to make. I'm not good at writing raps. Like, that's something where, like I would love, like, if Chris came to my studio and he co-wrote the raps with me. I think that would be pretty cool, and I could do the choruses and the raps.
I'm pretty sure we just came up with like $1 million idea.
I'm thinking of a $1 billion idea.
I agree.
No, yeah. this would be the biggest thing to touch music.
It's pretty cool. Yeah, maybe just like a rap mixtape. It's not even like an album. I just do or an EP, just like 5 songs. Regardless, yeah, I'm like really into this idea actually.
We will. Regardless. We'll definitely listen. Do you have any advice that you can give to up and coming independent musicians?
Repeat that one more time. You're breaking up.
Do you have any advice that you can give to up and coming independent artists?
Yeah, definitely. Just work really hard. That's it. Yeah. Just work really hard.
Yep.
I mean, I could give a million examples of just like freakish things I've done to gain 1 inch. I think you think, I have to do these grand gestures to gain a mile, and I'm like, no. You got to do fucking go to hell and back to gain 1 inch. And then you got to do that 300,000 times to gain a mile. And then you got to do that 300,000 times to make it across the world. So it takes a lot of work at the end of the day. And, sometimes it goes a really long way without seeing success. And be consistent and don't give up. Pretty much all it comes down to. And before you know it, you'll be making money.
Yep.
Right on. I mean, you just got back from London, so you're a prime example.
Yeah.
Yeah. And, let me tell you, London was, really difficult. It was really, like my body and everything was, I didn't have people with me. I had to carry a ton of stuff. So
God.
3 transfers, sleep in, a shitty bed. The show was really small. You know what I mean? It was, a political move. And, everyone would have not done that. But I was I wouldn't think twice about it. You know what I mean? I would felt like I was going to die every day. My body was hurting. But you do it,
Well, keep an eye on your DMs. I'm gonna request you for a private party. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and hop off here. Let you get to what you were doing. I appreciate you taking your time to sit with us.
Of course, it was a pleasure talking, and I appreciate you guys for listening and supporting and just being all around awesome people.
Yeah, definitely do that hip hop mixtape.
Yeah.
We'll be looking forward to that.
Yes, the mixtape. It's gonna be great.
All right, man. I'll talk to you later. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, do well. Okay, see you and do well. Peace. Bye.
All right, guys. That was SKRIZZLY Adams, and that was cool.
That was cool.
That was very fucking cool. I'm not editing this. I'm not editing any of the ums. I want this to be real, man. That was too fucking cool.
I know. At first I told Chris, I'm not talking to him because I get really nervous.
Wow, man. He is a fucking, oh, man. He's like a book.
Yeah.
Dude, that guy, wow. And the fact, all right, so I want you guys to all know, this is how personable SKRIZZLY Adams is. We are at 1 hour and 5 minutes. Danny and I only had 22 minutes prior to that.
Yeah.
He just gave us 45 minutes for the flat rate of $0.
Yeah.
You guys get that? That is...
Very personable, dude.
He could have, no doubt. So anybody listening in Ohio, please, WTF, Dave and Chris at gmail.com. We want to try to get SKRIZZLY Adams out here. He said he'll do a private party. I'm interested.
I mean, hell yeah.
I am very interested. I think that would be something that would be worth doing. I'm not even, like he said, he actually came up with a good business plan. He's like, you pay me, and then the bar that you take me to pays you.
Yeah.
I was like, yeah, we could probably do that, but no, I'd rather have you in my backyard with 100 people.
Yeah.
So, yeah, as always, it's been Weekly Talk featuring Danny and Chris. We do have our Today I Learns.
Yeah.
Today I Learned, not learns.
Learns.
Dude, my heart is racing. I can't believe we just talked to SKRIZZLY Adams.
Yeah. I wasn't expecting it to be that long. Honestly, I didn't think he was going to be a bad dude to talk to. But
He just gave us the coolest interview I've ever had. And no doubt, that was awesome, man.
Yeah. Thank you for coming on once again.
There was a couple questions I had to skip, but whatever, it is what it is. I enjoyed the fuck out of that. All right, so today I learned that... What the fuck was mine, Danny?
Well, I'll tell you mine then. So today I learned blue whale tongues can weigh as much as an elephant. You know the big-ass blue whale, Chris?
I don't know what the big-ass blue whale is.
The biggest whale in the ocean, but can you fathom the tongue the size of an elephant?
I'm not buying it.
Okay.
I'm not.
Let's go to the ocean.
Who took a scale into the ocean? Huh?
Whatever.
I don't believe it.
Fine.
I'm not buying it. And if they cut the tongue out, that is inhumane.
I don't think they did that.
So what'd they do, Danny?
I don't know.
How'd they come up with the weight?
Maybe they were really, really smart scientists like they do.
I don't believe that. Nope. Scientists, smart? Yeah, right.
Okay. What's your today I learned?
Today I learned that dogs can tell when you're due to come home by how much of your scent is remaining in the house. For instance, nope, not enough ass in here. Chris should be home soon. No, I'm just fucking with you. No, but for real, that is my today I learned.
Yeah.
Dude, really good show. I know that.
Honestly, guys, I don't know what we cut off saying before we did the interview, but I don't know. We'll have to listen and
Look,
find
yeah,
out.
I'll do a little bit of editing.
Yeah.
Maybe not, though. This was too good. This SKRIZZLY motherfucking Adams, dude. He gave you how he got his name.
Yeah.
I'm not good at interviewing. Danny's not that good
No.
either. But I'm excited that this was, like, definitely the coolest thing I've ever done. I enjoyed my interview with Fat Dolsk. That was really fun.
Yeah.
This is really fun, too. Hoping that we could just turn this thing into, like, let's interview every now and then.
Now and then, but I like to.
No movie this week, guys. Next week, Kat, it will be your movie. We are going to do Evil Dead.
Yep, but that should be what our last. Let me make
Yeah,
sure
that should
in
be.
my calendar.
I hope.
Stop.
I hope.
Actually,
Dude, some of these movies are fucking horrible, man.
It'll be our last.
We did give away an MGK ticket. We've already contacted the person who's won that. Simple, man. If you guys want your friends to win cool shit, just fucking tell them to listen to our fucking podcast. We do also. We have a SKRIZZLY Adams signed CD to give away, and I told Danielle to come up with the winner for that one.
Oh,
and
I hate doing those.
You don't want to pick nobody?
It's hard to pick.
If you want to win that SKRIZZLY Adams CD, you email us at WTFDaveandChris@gmail.com.
So whoever emails us within how long of a time frame?
You have until my next episode. If you want that CD, it's yours.
Well, hold on. Because if there's more than one person.
Well, yeah,
email
all
us,
right. Well, you guys already
then I'll
know.
pick.
If there's more than one, we do the random.
Yep, then I'll pick one. But you guys have to email us.
It's definitely been real. That was the best episode I've ever done. I say this every week to Danny too. We get in the car because I make her listen.
Yeah.
Like, this was it. This is the best episode we ever did. And SKRIZZLY, you just definitely made that happen. Thank you very much. This has been Weekly Talk featuring. No, it hasn't.
Yes, it has.
This has been What the Fuck.
No, it's been Weekly Talk.
Whew, almost forgot that. Our email is WTFDaveandChris@gmail.com. Why Dave and Chris, Danny?
Because we still like Dave.
Because we still like Dave. Own your truth. See you guys later.
Bye.
Please remember to subscribe, follow, and email us at WTFDaveandChris@gmail.com.